I kind of feel like I'm the only one that gave Kamaru any type of chance, right? I thought Usman looked effective. He was obviously able to impose his will, and whether you like him or not or what have you, dude kind of owned Joaquin Buckley. Buckley's limitations is definitely on the ground, and he may be too far in the game to pull that up to elite level. That was very bad. One specific instance was Kamaru going in, charging him, and Buckley just hitting square and triangle. No block, no defense. Kind of a weird thing to see. Usman, on the other hand, looked like he knew what he was going to have to do in there, and he stuck to that game plan. I don't hate it at all. I don't hate it at all. Even at 38, Kamaru Usman should be a formidable opponent for anybody in the top 10. The idea of his knees, the idea of this man's knees consumed the fan base. For what reasons, I don't know. Now, I haven't seen any x-rays or MRIs, and I've never spoken to Kamaru Usman. I know nothing about his knees. I know we saw some videos when he was in Saudi Arabia. I think it was portrayed with Hamzat, and people were like, look, his knee. He said something about his knee. He tweaked his knee, something like that. Everyone was obsessing about it, okay? And then since then, it's been like this focus of his. His knees are bad. His knees are bad. I mean, he may not need good knees to keep beating motherfuckers in the top 10. Or maybe his knees aren't as bad as what everyone says, or maybe they are just blown and he's hiding it very well. Maybe he's got the IQ that he's able to adjust and not damage his knees any further. Whatever the case is, almost everybody counted Usman out of this fight and was looking for Buckley versus whomever, right? We were already looking at that. You gotta kind of recalculate Buckley, man. Buckley's gonna be in a lot of trouble fighting anyone ranked above Kamaru. I think we can all admit that, right? He has no instincts on the ground. And as the fight goes on, it's almost like he does less and less on the ground, I mean. This puts Buckley in a weird spot. I wonder if Gary would even want to take the fight now. There was some heat between them, you know? But Gary has the blueprint on how to beat him. You know what I mean? That's not gonna be a problem anymore. And also, Gary don't want to be fighting down, right? Joaquin could have leapfrogged, and then we had our next hype fight for the welterweight division. He certainly can bounce back, but it's gonna take him more than one fight. And Dominic Cruz was being very optimistic, saying he's going to learn so much, and even in round 5, he said he was already learning and adjusting, which is a good sign, to be honest, not even trying to hate on Buckley like that. But if I were him and I wanted it as bad as he says he does, I'd be drilling that mat work relentlessly.
This nigga trying to cook a motherfucking, damn, ham, a fucking sandwich. This pussy ass nigga burned a fucking sandwich. Why the fuck you ain't eat it cold? The fuck wrong with you?
I have no idea what the hype is about Vanessa Demopoulos, but I think that's okay for us to go ahead and call it quits, or no. I'm tired of fans glazing with fighters for they do something goofy, you know? Push them on their social media if you like that goofy thing that they do, but don't try to like sell them as a fighter. Especially because a lot of people, I don't gamble, but a lot of people do gamble. Why would you bet on her? You know what I mean? Why would you bet on this woman to win a fight? Unless you're trying to ignorantly, gooningfully will her to victory so you can see more of her on camera, which you don't need to do that. Her gimmick was like she used to strip or something, right? She was doing the splits at the weigh-ins. It's like, dude, that's, for me, quite cringe. It's fight weigh-ins, bro. It's fight weigh-ins, you know? If you want to do the splits on camera, just turn on your phone and post it on your Instagram. But whatever, you know, I digress. And I'm not even hating. Everybody loves hot chicks or whatever. That's not the thing. Dude, what's the push? Vanessa looked like Patchy Mix out there in his last fight. You know what I mean? There was absolutely nothing there to say her next fight should be in the UFC. It absolutely should not. Is she tough? Absolutely. And for some reason, trying to taunt her opponent when she's losing so badly, it's almost unironic. This litmus test is donezo. I don't want to hear about her anymore. There's nothing to cover here. She's not a good fighter.
3 from here. From the back, you hear 3. Now the rhythm changes when I do this. That's 2 rebounds. Fist hits the bag, 1, 2, and comes back. Single fist here, you hear that beat, changes. Think double fist through. Single fist. Fist rolling.
Someone who does seem to be a good fighter is Malcolm Wellmaker, of course, the Ugg Thug. Someone asked me about that nickname. That's just what I call him. It's a reference to Miracle the rapper. He used to always scream Ugg Thug because he was from Augusta, Georgia. Malcolm Wellmaker is gonna be a problem in the division. All right, now pump brakes on, top two, the champion and everything. Let's hold off on that for a second. But he has such a sharp check right hook, dude. And it is lightning fast. It is Red Dead Redemption, draw your revolver fast, maxed out. You know what I'm saying? Just and so much power for a bantamweight. Who has power like that in the division? Sean O'Malley. And, Rob Font's got some power too in his hands, or used to, right? He's got great kicks. He even looks like, but he also reminds me of Benson Henderson. It's crazy. I want to give him a shout out because I believe this is his second fight officially in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken, because he came from Contender Series, right? Both of them are finishes. Powerful finishes. I do hope he walks out to Miracle at some point. I'm sure he's aware of who Miracle is, and if he isn't, somebody get this out there to him and tell him to go get Miracle bounce.
Yeah, I'm a real nigga, fuck a Tommy Hill nigga, Glenn Hill main nigga, red eye don't tell him what you know about them gold triple D, 100 spores when the ground, system pumping, busting on the automotive.
Rose Namajunas went ahead and took care of Miranda Maverick. Now, I did a video on Rose saying, she shouldn't be losing this fight, and which version of Rose were we going to get. I'll link this. But I will say Miranda Maverick looked very much improved on the feet. That was interesting. That was interesting to see. Her jab and her combinations look sharp and fast too. I don't recall her being that sharp and fast. She looked good. I have to give her props where props were, because I was kind of counting her out unless Apathy Rose came and not Thug Rose. But I wouldn't say Miranda's done. She definitely has improved, and we'll see where she goes next. But as for Rose Namajunas, Rose did what she had to do, tagging. Dude, she was tagging Miranda Maverick. I do feel like she could have done more. Maybe that's just being an ungrateful fan or what have you, But Rose looked solid. She definitely looked solid. She did not look hyper fleet of foot, but she was using good footwork. I mean, that's just ingrained in her, of course. I was kind of expecting more kicks from Rose. Hopefully she implements those more often going forward. It's gonna help against fighters that she could possibly get booked against. That was Miranda's shot to go ahead and see if she can get in to the top 10 right now. We can make that push and start, pushing another face to go up into the upper echelon of the division, so to speak. And Rose maintained it. So Rose is in a good position right now, and hopefully we're done with the yo-yoing. Yeah, a little bit of yo-yoing, because there was 2 losses before the 2 wins. So yeah, a little bit of yo-yoing. Hopefully that's where this stops. And we could see Rose ascend and not just necessarily be a gatekeeper. Speaking of the opportunities,
Welcome to a glimpse of Thursday's television lineup. This is Preview Tonight.
This is where we're at with Loopy Godinez. She is now going to take on Jessica Andrade, and I think this is where it's make or break for Loopy. Looks like the UFC is trying to get Andrade to go ahead and go on out now. We'll see you later, thank you. And get Loopy up on in the top 10. Jessica Andrade is currently top 5 at strawweight. She's number 9 at flyweight. I do not get this. Can we please get her out of the flyweight division? Her and Amanda Ribas never needed to be juggling. Ribas is gone. Let's get Andrade out of there. And then it'll be unfair that she gets kicked out of that division if she were to lose to Loop. This is to see if Loopy's gonna be in there for title contention and marketability and raise some some money or not. Because if she beats Andrade, you got another face, just like you would have had with Miranda Maverick. The top of strawweight is pretty crowded with losers. And this is why when you're the #1 contender or the title holder and you lose, you should rank down lower than just to #1. It keeps the shuffle and rotation going. This is just my opinion though. So there's somewhat of a bottleneck there, but I do think Loopy has a very good chance to jump up 4 to 6 spots, which is just crazy from #11. But Amanda Ribas is not doing anything. But I find Jessica Andrade to be unpredictable, and I'm glad and not glad how she got to bounce back after all the troubles that she was having. I believe 2020 or 2021. I did cover that in the Squab Talk video with Andrade and Mackenzie Dern when they had their bout. As big of a fan as I am of Jessica, it's time to get this division moving along. Both, in fact. She's taking up 2 spots that are pretty critical.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfucker.